Hello, guys, and thank you for hanging out with me today. Today, I want to talk about psychedelics. So, I get a lot of questions about shall we try ayahuasca? Shall we try mushrooms? We want to access different states of consciousness. And the thing is, the fluff and the people who come online and tell you about their experiences and how they access different states of consciousness. And there are a lot of buzzwords out there about ayahuasca and all these kind of, stuff cannot be further from the truth. This is not the reality of psychedelics and plant medicine. And because you can drink a bottle of vodka and your friend can drink a bottle of vodka, and the reaction you have towards alcohol, or if you smoke weed or cannabis or whatever it is, it's completely different, because everything at the end of the day is about who you are and is about your state of consciousness. So if you don't learn even to breathe properly and to meditate, and you want to go right off the bat and try psychedelics, if your intention is to access other states of consciousness, there are no guarantees that you're going to have a good trip and you're going to have the results that you think you're going to have because other people had it. There are no guarantees about these things. I remember when I tried ayahuasca, I spent 1 year researching, and one of the things that affected me was this movie called The Magic Molecule or The Miracle Molecule about DMT. And this is actually what I thought. I thought that when I try ayahuasca, oh my God, all the doors of nirvana is going to swing open, and I'm gonna have this enlightenment and all my questions would be answered. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. First of all, psychedelics is all about where are you at with your consciousness. So where are you at? Can you access any kind of peacefulness and states where there are no thoughts and you have this serenity and equanimity? Where are you at with your consciousness? Are you mostly in your ego? These are questions you need to answer, because again and again and again, two people can go to the same seminar, two people can go to the same bar and have alcohol or smoke weed, and their reaction, their body and their consciousness to that experience would be completely different. Don't assume. So this movie was not accurate, and it built a whole halo on ayahuasca and DMT, let alone that there are so many scammers out there, and it's so difficult. When you read the reviews online, there are so many fluff and lies. And I went to that place in Ecuador in the Andes, which was run by total scammers. I mean, absolute, charlatans and people who are pretending to be something that they are not. And unfortunately, so many people did not learn how to do critical thinking. And the reason I went to that place, because the reviews were stunning and they were like literally mind-blowing reviews. And it turns out that when I saw that one person says a negative review, the owner, and of course I saw the owner, then I knew who she is, and I knew how she attacks people and kind of completely tarnish them and completely destroy them and make them look like they are total lunatics and crazy. So that is why people opt out from actually reviewing that place properly. There are so many scammers out there, and unfortunately the group that I was with, they were mostly suffering from ADHD, and they were diagnosed as bipolar, and they lack a lot of critical thinking, and they were mostly medicated most of their lives, so they were an easy prey. And there are so many out there, whether in Peru, whether in Ecuador, whether in Mexico, in Colombia. I heard horror stories about people going to these places to take psychedelics. And I'm not just talking about what people said. I experienced that myself. I experienced it firsthand, and I went and I talked to people, and I saw that not every place that promote this. But however, I took the brew myself, and I took the plant medicine, and I took the medicine, and it's not as it was portrayed to me in the movie. I mean, yes, of course, I had some kind of an experience, but not that profound, incredible, mind-blowing, eye-opening. No. And that is what I'm saying, that I got some ideas and insights, but it's not a given. This is what I'm saying. It's not a given. You don't go there with that kind of expectations. You will be disappointed, because it might happen, it might not happen. It depends on so many variables. When it comes to mushrooms, actually, again and again and again, ask yourself. So the father of mushroom is Terence McKenna, and I spent maybe almost also a year listening to Terence McKenna and understanding how to do the setting and the intention, and it's a whole story, actually, because you have to go to these plant medicine with humbleness and reverence. I'm talking about people who want to access higher states of consciousness for developing and evolving spiritually. I'm not talking about people who want to have sex on it, or who want to go to a rave party or an EDM and dance the night away. These are not my people. I'm not talking about these people. I'm talking about the people who come to me and ask me, we want to access higher states of consciousness through plant medicine and through psychedelics. Should we do it or not? So this video is for these people specifically. So what I'm saying is, you have to kind of prep your nervous system and prep your consciousness for these trips. So you have to understand the teacher, that mushroom is a teacher. And I was listening to Terence McKenna because he's an authority on mushrooms, because I always go to the authority. Like if I wanted to do LSD, I will just go to for instance, will listen a lot to Ram Dass or somebody who's an authority on the subject, you know. And by the way, this is by no means an invitation for anyone to go and try illegal substances if it's illegal in your country, or if you cannot do it, or to try. I'm talking about in general the people who ask me about stuff, and from my own personal experience. So what I'm saying here is, you can actually access these states of consciousness without trying plant medicine. Yes, plant medicine and psychedelics help because they will give you a reference point. So I would definitely, when it comes to mushrooms or any other substance like LSD, I would say microdose first, so you can prep your nervous system and the wiring of your brain. And you have to approach it first with reverence. You have to have very clear intentions about what do you want to learn. And understanding the frequency and the vibration of these substances is quintessential, because having a bad trip is about the substance driving you rather than you driving it. So there are two components about this. First, being open, having an intention, however, being open to whatever messages need to come up. because you cannot really dictate the substance, and it's not to your favor. If it needs to show you that this is where your ego is lurking, this is where you are stuck in your consciousness, this is where on your path there are so many obstacles and you cannot really go further. Like if you're a light worker, if you're a healer, if you are a spiritual teacher, and you need to know if you are on the right path, or you are stuck, or you have ego, or why aren't you evolving, or if the spirit wants to deliver some messages to you through the substance, okay, you need to be open. However, you need to know that you are in the driving seat. How would you do that? To understand that everything is a vibration and frequency. And in order to be in control, you need to feed that substance high vibrational food, high vibrational input. Like when you're listening, you need to pick music that is really high vibrational, or you can listen to your spiritual teacher, or you can listen to something with high vibration that does not take the trip down. Also, when you're eating, like I always eat fruits when I am on a trip. Like on a trip, I always eat fruits. I always eat something very simple, and the plant medicine will tell you if it's acceptable or not, because you will be very susceptible and your body would be very sensitive, I would say. Like for instance, mushroom tends to give people a lot of nausea, so you go with salads or something really simple, or depends on how you prepare it. I'm not gonna go into this rabbit hole, but that's one thing to acknowledge. That's one thing to to put in mind, the vibration, okay? The music, don't play music that is low vibration and like a lot of lyrics and rubbish, and expect the trip to go somewhere. It doesn't work. Another point that I want to discuss, the set and the setting. And the set is that, so in nature is beautiful, given the fact that you know that if you took a larger dose, you are safe to go home, or somebody can pick you up, so somebody can know that you're on this trip, and they can pick you up and take you to a safe place or home. Of course, in nature it's so beautiful, depends on the weather, depends on where you live. But then also, as I said, like the food, the frequency, the music, journaling is so important. I tend always to record and write down things that come on the trip. Also, a very important question, which is, some people are just addicted to experiencing. So they think, oh, when we go to that retreat, we're gonna gain that thing, or when we go to that yoga thing, or when we do ayahuasca, or when we go to psychedelic festival, or when we take that this or this or that or this, then you have to know that you are addicted to experiencing. And we have to know that each and every experience come and go. Nothing actually stays, whether it's a good experience or a bad experience. Every single experience tend to subside at the end, it tends to subside. So if you are hooked on experiencing, then that is not gonna get you anywhere on your spiritual path. Because if you are on your spiritual path, you want to be in a place where you are in a reliable place. You are in a place that is constant, that is reliable, that is the awareness of the experience itself. That is not the changing and the experiencing and the personality and the identity and this identification. You need to be in a place where this is the self, this is the awareness, this is the true self that is going through these kind of experiences. So that is also quite an important question to ask yourself, and to face yourself with these questions before embarking on taking a psychedelic experience. And I would highly recommend going through breath work, having a discipline of meditation, and silencing the mind and developing a connection with the spirit before really embarking on this. And just the knowing of that, for every single person, that kind of experience is really very relative. It's not a given that if you go to that place and spend that much money and travel, you're going to access higher states of consciousness. There are no givens. I think many people don't say these things, but this is the reality because I've been through it. And I wish that there was one video or somewhere on the internet that actually gives a realistic experience of what to expect, and not to have these very high expectations out of the plant. And you have to understand, and there is a process to be able to access higher states of consciousness, and it might take many trips, not only one trip. If you enjoy this video, please share it, because this will help me, and will help me do more content, and will help YouTube recognize my videos and share it to more people. And please send me a comment or contact me on my social handles, askamira.ca on Instagram, or my website is the same, askamira.ca. And I would love to support you on your spiritual journey. So if you have any questions, or if you've been through a traumatizing experience, please hit me up. I would love to walk you through how to get out of it. Stay blessed. Namaste.